Shouldn't have turned down those cue cards.
Welcome back to the United States of Australia. I am the Aussie guy, and couple of special guests this week, so we'll get into it. First of all, a man who's known the world over for having a head like a fucking pineapple. It's Echo Pineapple. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Who do I intro next? So next up, I'll bring the little piece of human filth that is Roachy.
All right, mate.
How are you, Roachy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I'm having deja vu. What the fuck's going on?
Now with more viewers.
And speaking of little, he's a tiny, tiny little man. He's a Kiwi. It's Moody. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going? It's 3:30 in the morning. What am I doing?
You're a trooper. You're a very, very special man. Thanks for joining us. And also joining us, the one man that thought the gross part of Stuttering John and Kate Meany was kissing Kate Meany, Robbie the Mariner fan.
You didn't butcher that at all.
No, all right, fine. Slightly distracted.
Great camera, by the way, Robbie. Smashing it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, is this show interrupting your text session?
Yeah. When my wife texts me during the show, that's usually means something, but it's fine.
Fair enough.
we can move on. Thanks for joining us, Moody and Roachy, for the first time. We're excited to have you. And Roachy, you've brought some stuff for us this week, which we're going to get to a little bit later. But I guess before we do anything, we got to do this.
Aaron's boring, and April adds nothing. It's gonna be great. We're scripting this morning. Come on, it's time for Movie and the Scrimp. It's time for Movie and the Scrimp. It's gonna be mediocre as fuck. It's time for Movie and the Scrimp.
It is that time again, and of course we have the star of this little piggy here today.
I don't think we can call me a star. It's a round table. There's no star. Everyone is equal. It's not fair. This little piggy is like a text. It's literally a group chat that turned into a show. We were all in a group chat together talking so much about Steel Toe that we said, let's just turn it into a show.
Look, it is funny. Like, obviously, it started with point double point with I nearly said pint double point. Jesus, with Stuttering John, and but yeah, I think with this little piggy, you've really come into your own, Moody, because Carl gets a lot of criticism. He yells and all that, and Milton is just like, he's a solo show guy, so he just drones on and on and on. But, you're kind of the standout, very succinct points.
I don't think so. No, there's plenty to criticize about me. Are you kidding? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I have a huge ego and I won't stand for this. It's ridiculous. What are you talking about?
Yeah, let me help you out, Moody.
That'd be like me coming in here talking about how great all your cameras are. What are you high? Like, what are you talking about? Roachy's fading away like Thanos just clicked his fingers, and we're sitting here like talking about how great I am. What's going on?
Not to mention he's 100 meters from the camera too.
Right. It looks like Peter Jackson's filming another Hobbit movie.
And you're the literal Hobbit here.
I've been cast as a normal guy.
Yeah. No, obviously I'm just fucking around, but I want to throw to you first some of the things you've picked up on this week from Steel Toe, some of your standout moments.
Standout moments this week. Yelling at Slam Piece and her slamming the door, I think, is pretty standout. We've got, I guess, like the positive Aaron era is feeling like it's over. Like he doesn't feel as explicitly positive anymore. So that's coming to a close. But it's very I guess like this era of Steel Toe, there's not much happening in terms of events. So we're in this like transition period as we start to wrap up all the court cases. So it's not as interesting, really.
Yeah, it is getting frustrating for me now. Like when Nick's thing got pushed till fucking January and Toe's thing got, and I was like, yeah, the bullshit legal system of like, let's just drag it on. Like, I'm more excited about Nick getting his over and done with, so then they can start talking.
That'll be so good. Nick is ready. He's armed and he's got so much stuff to talk about. There's a lot that's going to be released once Nick's off the hook. If he is, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but
I can't imagine he sees a day in jail, and I can't imagine Aaron does either. Like they're not crimes that you should go to prison for.
It's a plea hearing, which means it's more than likely a guilty plea in the States anyway. So it looks like he's taking a deal. But yeah, I agree with you. All of this is all just so stupid. But there's no reason that law enforcement should be involved in all of this. But the fact that it's just one stupid decision after another is resulting in so many people losing their time. I don't know.
No, that's part of the fun of it. Like I was in Shmuel Buckman's chat earlier, and like they were discussing Stuttering John and Kate Meady, and I was like, this is literal high school bullshit. Like we are just children now. Like we're not adults anymore. And it is the same with all of this stuff. Like I'm not above it. Like it is. We're all just gossiping about what's next for these people. But
it's reality TV. Like that's what it feels like to me. But also, this is the most, I guess, captivating art I've ever seen in my life. This is a guy who was setting himself on fire in front of us for no reason. Like he makes every bad decision you can possibly make at every turn. And he's destroying his own relationships and personal life for no reason other than his ego. I guess like the biggest reason is he wants to be back on radio, which is a dying medium. So it's like even the goal is weird. Not the goal every show, but like his goal for his life feels weird.
Right.
His goal. Like his goal is to jump on the Titanic as it's sinking. It just doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. But he believes he could get it to come back up. Like he would jump onto the Titanic one. I can save this thing. I can get us sailing again. Like
just get me to the wheel. I'll drive us to safety. Don't you worry.
Exactly. Roachy,
Yes.
I know you brought something this week, but and we can get to that in a minute if you like. But yeah, what stood out to you this week?
In all honesty, this week I've not really watched the Toe as often as I could have done, but I did catch on Tuesday, which we'll probably cover later. But yeah, that was probably my highlight, to watching him seethe over having technical issues, which is, I know it's kind of funny me saying that because I'm probably fading away in the background as I'm saying that, which is apropos to whatever. But Moody, you're selling yourself short, sir. I've heard that you're now the new Minister of Truth, and I believe that you've got control of everything. What's the right word? Everything. Nobody likes onions and that sphere, and maybe you're pushing on to being the head of Steel Toe as well, with your coverage of the Toe on This Little Piggy, of course.
First of all, I'm 5'5", so like selling myself short is just true advertising. Like I'd be lying if I wasn't selling myself short. But like, no, I'm not involved in this sphere that much. It's a joke. Look, the whole like the producer of Nobody Likes Onion stuff, it's a joke. Please keep saying it because it annoys Patrick. But I have zero control over what goes on there or anything like that. I don't think. But it seems I am producing Steel Toe a little bit now. I pointed out that his marker was running out, and he's gotten a new one. So this week on This Little Piggy, I said he kept buttoning his bottom button on his suit jacket. So hopefully at his next court appearance, he unbuttons that like he's supposed to.
So Sorry, Aussie guy. First off, you're not denying being the minister of truth. And second of all, are you willing to reveal on the Aussie Guys channel here that you are, in fact, Slampies?
I no comment on either of those. Thank you very much.
Oh. Roshi's 240p bad quality gives me vibes of help me Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. It does actually. That's a good. Yeah, that's a good call. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Damn it!
Ah, fuck's sake.
Yeah. Fuck.
What say you, Fruit?
Yeah, I agree. Aussie guy has forgotten what he was going to say, and that has derailed the show. Yeah, I agree.
It has completely derailed the show.
What was your favourite part of the toe this week? Sorry.
What Moody said and what Roachy said, that was my favourite bit so far.
Brilliant.
Robbie, why do you have a fork on your hat?
Just to
It's
remind
the
him when he's
alternate
hungry.
logo for the Seattle Mariners, but it also goes well with the overall theme of me.
right. Sorry, I don't know anything about sport.
Oh yeah.
No, that is true. You definitely don't. We'll go to Roachy's steel toe clip. I think we'll kick it off with that. So Roachy, do you want to set this one up?
Yeah. So I was busy, obviously, watching everything Joey C, and I noticed that Steel Toe's morning show had finished early on my YouTube feed, and I was like, well, what's going on here? And I noticed he had a 17-second live stream afterwards, and I went, this is something's going on here. So I very quickly went and recorded what I can, and I don't know if you want to present what occurred.
Yeah, let's bring it up.
The thumper over there.
Mick Buster's calling him Gefelta bitch. Second, it'll come back. It always does. It's back. It always does. It's back. Sorry. OBS disconnected. It's back. There we go.
I love Johnny. Just all right. Let's slide up the joint. Then this is gonna take a while.
Go.
So literally,
I don't even.
It looks like the internet cut out or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that might happen.
Yeah, so weirdly enough, I literally just screen recorded this off of my phone, right? So there was this is how this went out on YouTube towards the end of this 2.5 hour part of his morning show. So the noises in the background are not on my end. This is obviously Aaron's end. So I don't know whether that's a OBS noise or or just a notification.
That's a Windows noise that happens with notifications, and that would happen if he was getting disconnected and that sort of thing. So
reconnected, yeah.
No, it's probably still working for people. It's all right. Now we're looking good. Nope. We've changed subjects. We're going to talk about, what are we talking about next? Nope.
Wait, does he think that what he's talking about is getting him thrown offline? We changed subjects.
This is definitely an OBS problem.
Feels
Actually,
like
I'm doing an internet speed test. It may not be an OBS issue.
There we go.
The sites still come up. It's not an internet issue. It's an OBS issue for sure.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to disconnect and reconnect.
Then
okay,
because everything else is working fine.
It's working good now.
Yeah.
You got spooked by me asking about. Wait, what's going on here?
It's a breaker. It's a little breaker.
Yeah, now he's got Roachy's camera.
There's no porn bomb, Aussie guys. Just the breaker in between it.
All right, so that's in between clips. All right, so that's that. So what's set up the next part, Reggie?
Right, so like I said, that was the end of the 2.5 hour show on Tuesday. Then I noticed there was a 17-second live stream, which is coming up next, because I was like, I have to clip all of this and show to you guys. I was hoping that maybe Melton had caught this and been sent all of this stuff, because what's about to happen next is peak Aaron M. Holt cope. It's amazing.
That's
all right.
Just before you play that, I love when he centers his head on that steel toe, steel toe logo, because he looks like the
Looks
patron
religious.
saint of gold. Like,
it does look religious, doesn't it?
right.
His hands.
I wish someone could teach him how to just do dual screen in OBS so that he can sit like that all the time, because he stretches Johnny out over his image, so he has to move over when Johnny's on.
Yeah.
I feel bad defending Aaron, but I mean, talking about technical issues with this cast of characters, like, I should be directing my technical rage upwards here rather than over this way.
All right, jeez.
It's just like, look,
At least we started on time. I sat there for 15 minutes to listen to you and Milton argue last Saturday morning.
yeah, but at least everyone there knows how the cameras work. Like, it's just, it feels like, look, like people who make fun of Aaron usually have their lives together, and you can just make fun about it. But like when it comes to technical issues, sorry, it seems really hypocritical to have like literally Roachy disappearing here. Why are there gremlins in the background?
Well, that's a little joke on the Catalanos. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I totally agree with what you're saying, Moody. It's to me, it's around how he handles it. At the end of the day, I can't do anything about my camera right now. You can shit on it all you like. I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? So I am gonna move on from it. It is more about how you handle the situation. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
and your radio gig and all that.
Teen show. All right, I think we're good. That was wild. Nope, we're not.
What's that background noise? Is that a clock ticking or something?
That's right. That's right. Obviously.
Not good.
Sorry, you got spooked by me asking about your show, and where it's going, and,
I'm sorry,
and your radio gig and all that.
Teen show.
Wait, did that go backwards? No.
No, it's free clip.
Do we have it?
This is what I mean, Moody. I don't care that he's got technical issues. What is with these fucking arm movements and
He's
shit?
stressed.
This
It's
is what I
just-
want to make fun of.
He's showing off how like nervous he is about something. He wants it to work. He hopes.
Is it a pantomime? Is that what we're watching?
It kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it.
Now,
It all looks good. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't, look, here's what I did. I did the old unplug, plug back in. I did the old restart the computer.
Is he rapping? The way his hands are going?
He seems so cool. I prefer this than him just staying like still the whole time, like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is nice.
You need something to distract from his words. It's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
It was an OBS issue we were having. I don't know what else to tell you other than OBS problem, fixed now, female cop, female fuck, doggo.
You see, now I don't put my problems onto Aaron. See, here's the difference, Moody. You know what I mean? My camera issue is my camera issue.
Yeah.
I don't need to bring up.
own it.
I don't need to bring up Mersh stroking out on stream when I'm having an issue with my show. Like, what's Mersh got to do with that, this Aaron?
Fair enough.
It's how they handle it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It wasn't YouTube. It wasn't. It could have maybe been Restream, because when I tried to go on Restream, it wouldn't.
Now, granted, I was on my phone, so you can't criticize it too much. But
we're watching the same show here, Rossi guy.
yeah, but seriously, like, there was an internet problem or an OBS problem. Move on. He's got to go through every platform. I checked YouTube. I checked this. Like, it is you've got nothing to say. You've got no show to do. You've got to tell every little detail of your life.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to start. He doesn't want anyone to miss out on the great content he's got planned. He runs a tight ship. He's got things he wants to talk about. Can't be missing it.
All right. I don't think there's too much left of this. So
No.
no.
Jesus. Thank you, A-Train. But OBS just would not cooperate no matter what happened. It was dropping 60% of our frames. I hit the restart. It all went back to where it was, so we're good now. I guess we'll leave it there. We'll do the rest of the show. I don't think the YouTube chat is showing up on my chat ninja.
Oh, you didn't look at the YouTube chat.
It is.
Oh, no, it is. Okay.
This is a thing called rubber ducking. Do you guys know what that is?
Rubber ducking.
Fine.
Yeah, it's a thing that a lot of software engineers use, which is you have just a rubber duck on your desk, and if you want to like work through a problem, you explain that problem to the rubber duck. And as you're explaining it, then you kind of figure out what that problem is. Because I don't know, like if you run into a problem, sometimes you go and talk to someone about it, but as you're explaining it, you figure out what went wrong. And you're like, okay, thank you, bye. And then you waste their time. So he's rubber ducking with his audience, which,
every day for 4 hours.
Right, yeah.
Diesel the Rottweiler has become a new member. Thank you very much, Diesel. We appreciate it. One of the 5 or 6 people who've done it on their own power. You know,
wow.
Most people have been gifted memberships. So there's 5 or 6 here that have actually decided on your own to do it. So thank you, Diesel.
So what you're saying, Moody, is you replaced the rubber duck with those floppy disks you got on your desk there, right?
Yeah, these are coasters. I like them. They're cool. They make the place feel.
Why do you have a pair of underwear behind you?
That's a pair of Tommy Wiseau underwear. It's signed. It's one of my favorite possessions.
They were good. Wasn't before though. Like none of Roots' shit was coming through.
At least you can see behind me. What are you ashamed of, Roachy?
My bedroom.
Aussie guy, equal pineapple.
It'd just be a green screen behind me, wouldn't it?
Not only are you ashamed of your backgrounds, you're ashamed of your names.
No, this is
really
Moody. Are you ashamed? We're ashamed.
Yeah,
of your
like
name.
honestly,
Moody.
people in real life call me Moody. My real name's Mahmood, but they just are scared of Arab names, so they call me Moody.
I like that Moody hasn't had a massive issue saying my Echo Pineapple, very difficult name on this show. So thank you, I appreciate
No
that.
worries.
It's so complicated. Change it.
I love that Moody's come in all guns ablaze and just say, "Fuck you guys, suck too." So
I'm not letting this be a low energy show. I want to like super chat. It's almost 4 in the morning. I need to draw my energy from somewhere, and if that comes from shaming you guys about your technical issues, I'm going to do that.
All right. Well, I'm going to fucking get rid of this clip now.
All right.
At
least your mouse works. Okay, so we got the mouse works.
It's working, Moody. It's working. He's getting
great.
riled up. Let's go.
Yeah. No, we're all right. We're going over to. I grabbed a few clips this morning. We'll start with Aaron talking about Nick Fuentes fans.
Then I am embarrassed by Nick Fuentes fans. Like Nick, if you're a Nick Fuentes fan because you think he's based and cool and white, straight, you're just an idiot. You're a dipshit. There's nothing I can say to you. You're like a Melton fan. There's nothing I can say to you because.
There it is again. You know, it's got nothing to do with Patrick, but he's on your mind all the time.
He's on his mind all the time.
Yeah. Shit show, thank you for the $1.99. Mooby is a little meanie. Give Eccles super tips.
If he wants them, he's welcome to them.
That's very kind. But once I get over 5 viewers, I'll let you know, Moody. Cheers.
Thank you.
Something ain't firing right up here. So, but if you're if you're like an expat of Nick Fuentes, if you're like an ex-Nick Fuentes fan, that means at one point you bought that bullshit. And now you're over here with the reasonable, rational people who saw, I mean, it.
All right, so we're about to get my favorite thing from Aaron. Aaron is a projector. There's no doubt about it. The projection is insane. So
I love that his audience is the reasonable, rational ones
yes,
who listen to a show 40 minutes of which is just him begging about about hitting the goal and complaining about how he wants to do a good show, but he can't.
They're like two different sides of the same idiot coin. Like if you're a fan of, you know what I mean? It's
Should take 5 seconds to see Nick Fuentes and go, why am I listening to that twink? Like, what does he know about shit? He's an idiot.
I mean, has there ever been a better piece of projection for Barry Holt? What does this twink know about shit? He's an idiot.
He sometimes talks about stuff that he doesn't know. Like he was talking about like the Federal Reserve, but he didn't quite know what that was. He was talking about the tariffs, and then like he was reading a news article about tariffs, and then said, "I don't know what the tariffs will do once they're implemented. I'm not an economist." And then he just moved on. So it's like, yeah, if you're listening to this guy for news, why are you reading your news? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's why I listen to this dopey Dabbleverse stuff. I was like, I don't really want to get my news from anybody doing a podcast, to be totally honest. I just want people to make me laugh and fucking goof around. So, yeah,
he does that though. Like genuinely, I do laugh out loud when I listen to his show, not for the reasons he wants, but
yeah.
Yeah, you're laughing at him, not with him. Yeah,
right. But it is a product I enjoy.
Yes.
So I know that when I put Nick Fuentes' name in the title, people go, "Oh man, I'm so excited to shit on Nick Fuentes. I'm so happy. Oh man, this is going to be great." Is it though? Because like with that comes a heaping of me looking at you and going, "I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed."
All he does is he wants his audience to tell him what to do. You know, he wants them to steer the show. He gets them to send money to play clips and all this different stuff. And then when the audience is like, "Yeah, let's shit on Nick Fuentes," it's like, I don't know about that. That same stuff.
If he got a lot of donations during a day when he was shitting on Nick Fuentes, he would turn the show into a shitting on Nick Fuentes show for about a week, just to try to capture the lightning again.
Yes, I agree.
He does that like when he got the quad, he was like, let's just do the same thing. It's like someone hitting a perfect game in bowling. It's like, I don't know if you've seen that episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Hal's like makes everyone do exactly the same thing. Like a guy's just eating the same sandwich over and over again so that he bowls. It feels like that whenever he hits the goal.
I agree. Whenever something big happens for him, it's like that was the perfect formula.
Let's change nothing and do the same thing again. We got this.
I like that he doesn't go, "Let's try to recreate something similar." He goes, "Let's do the exact same thing." And then I should get the exact same response. I was like, we'll see.
Another great little piece of projection here. And I love how this starts out. Just take note of the sip of the drink before this clip starts.
I don't know. I'm not really sure what's up with Nick Fuentes other than I'm pretty sure he's gay. And if he wanted to tell me he's not, I'm pretty sure he couldn't prove it.
Yeah, prove you're gay, Nick. Go on, prove you're gay. What can you do to me to prove that you're gay? Ooh.
Well, yeah, he's got to prove he's not gay, which isn't that an impossibility, Moody? You can't prove a negative.
You can't prove that unless he's. No, I don't think you can ever prove that. Proving that you're not, because there might be some situation in which you would do that. So
and we know Aaron's eaten cum, another man's cum, so it's even harder for him to prove that he's not gay. So
it's I don't know why there's all this focus on gayness. Like it doesn't matter. Like if you're, it would almost. I don't know. It would almost be more respect. It would be more respect. It would be more respectable if Aaron sat there and just said, "Look, I enjoy it. Like that was something that was really hot to me. I really liked it. I had fun. I'm not making any like. How many of you guys are living every single sexual fantasy you could think of? Like if he came out unapologetically like that, sure, he'd catch some flack, but he'd live a more truthful life, and you ultimately need to respect him a little bit more for it.
Well, you can only give it shit. Like I look at it in terms of if there's no shame there, then it's hard to make fun of. Yeah,
Right.
like I wouldn't make fun of a gay person for being gay because that's who they are. They enjoy being gay. No need to make fun of them. We make fun of Robbie for being gay because he continues to deny it, and so that's fun. That's part of the joke. You know what I mean? So yeah, if he owned it and said, "Yeah, it's what I'm into," like fucking suck it in. Like Marv Albert, the great NBA commentator. All this shit came out about him fucking getting. I think there was dominatrix shit and all of that.
Well, he's
and
wearing like women's clothing and stuff.
Women's clothing and shit. And yeah, like the story broke and fucking everyone talked about it for a bit. And then he continued commentary for the next fucking 15, 20 years. Like, yeah, I agree with you, Moody. Fucking own it.
Right, just own it.
Or dismiss it completely. Dismiss it completely. Like when Nick said it, you could just go, yeah, we all know Nick's full of shit. I'm not even going to address it and move on. Right. You know, that's the other option.
I don't think Nick's full of it. I think Nick's...
Well, I think it's
no, yeah.
I think it's legit.
It's still Toe who's full of it now after taking it from Nick, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah. Well, Nick was doing lines of coke. Aaron was doing lines of coke.
I'll be honest. When Moody started saying this, I thought we were going to get an exclusive. Moody was going to come out and go, I don't know why we're all so homophobic around here. Who cares? He's going to own it. It's like
honestly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not gay, but I wouldn't like fine, whatever. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I know I'm not. It's fine. But for him to just always call people gay, like he uses that as an insult, then to have so much shame around it when it gets directed at him, I don't know. It just feels it feels unnatural.
He's way too flamboyant as well to be someone who has a go at people for being gay. Like every gesture that he has screams, camp.
And he always has to jump on it straight away if he does something that looks effeminate or gay. He's always got to, oh yeah, I know I'm a fag. Yeah, everyone call me a fag. Like trying to get ahead of it.
He tries to link it to the sexuality other things.
Well, I think Moody's original point was Aaron claims that his show happens to be about his life, when we know the truth is that Aaron isn't telling the truth about his life. So, Aaron, if you actually come out and, for lack of a better term, if you come out of the closet on your show, maybe you'll get more respect when you claim that your show is about your life. Maybe.
I don't think he'd ever do that. Like that doesn't.
That's not him. Yeah.
He's painted himself into a corner that he'll never get out of because. Being gay is the gayest thing you could be. So he'll never.
Ekel and I do a Ricky Gervais show before this every Sunday, and Ricky Gervais, has a story in his stand-up about a kid at school who was like, "Would you rather be blind or gay?" And he's like, "Well, gay." He's like, because if I was gay, I'd enjoy being gay.
Do everything I wanted to. I wouldn't mind being gay. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And the other guy's like, I wouldn't. I'd rather be blind. It's like,
it's like if you could choose, bisexual is clearly the best choice. That like keeps as many options open for you as possible.
Yeah,
right.
True. Sounds a bit gay, to be honest, Moody. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure. But I don't feel like it's a choice. Like I've been given a very standard hand. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But if it could be a choice, why wouldn't you?
I've never seen a dick that I'd like to suck. So yeah.
You haven't you can't prove that you'll never see one.
No, exactly. That's the point. You never know.
See all of them.
Someday one guy might pull out his dick, and I'll go, you know what? I gotta have it.
Right.
Aussie guy, check your X, mate. Check your X. I sent you something. Let's test this live.
What do you fucking mean? Jesus Christ! I was just about to present another video.
I'm joking.
This one is just Aaron's going to talk about some money in these clips, right? He's going to get into the Nick Fuentes stuff, but first
get into the Fuentes stuff. We are first 5 or 10 minutes pretty quiet. I'm a little.
Look at this body language. It's like I'm hungry for money.
He did his,
hungry,
he
hungry,
did his
hungry.
Monty Mole tapping on his stomach.
Oh, the body language is the best about Aaron. That's what I
It's so
love
good.
lately. He's gotten so much more theatrical. It's good.
He's
stuff.
he's picking up a pen a lot, and like he's just playing with that always.
Yeah, and he's been doing the mic thing forever, which it always ends up in the same spot. Yeah. Every time it ends back up in the exact same spot as to where he lifted it from. But
nervous, but I think we're gonna be all right tonight. Let's get in there and make your host feel less insecure about himself, and let's.
I mean, how do we make this man feel less insecure?
Money.
Yeah, that's how it,
hitting
that's
the
how it-
goal.
Is it money? Is it?
Jump into the
literally.
things we have. I will man the shop. I will do the show. You guys take care of the part that always makes me feel like I'm about to go start working on a car lot. The end of that.
Oh, and then the guilt trip at the end. Just throw in the guilt trip.
I think he
You don't want
could
me to
be
get a
just
job.
as entertaining without volume with some of these clips. He would be
Yeah.
just as funny to watch.
Go back to the
Just-
silent movie days.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you brought up working at a car lot. How many jobs has the Toe mentioned this year that he might be working at? You know,
Mm.
he's talking about radio, doing sales. Yeah,
Yeah.
Be interesting if somebody tallied that up.
He also did voiceover. He also said he might do
Voiceover,
voiceover work.
Voiceover work, yeah.
Money
Which
for-
why wouldn't he just do that already? Like that's a great
Yeah.
side stream of income, which
Yeah.
he should absolutely be looking for, regardless of the goal.
He is absolutely perfect for voiceover work. Like one thing I've always said about Aaron is his delivery is very clean and very smooth.
Mhm.
Like I wish I was that clean with my delivery on a show. So I'll always give him that. Like he is a broadcaster, but he's lost his identity completely. He doesn't know who he is
changed
anymore.
His voice is different. This is a voice he
is.
puts on.
Yeah.
If you listen to something from 2 or 3 years ago, it's higher pitched and he's got a Minnesota twang to it.
No, I agree. I think I was on This Little Piggy with you guys, and I noticed. I was like, "How old was this clip?" Like his voice has changed a lot. Like, he does.
Yeah. Go to his channel. Go to the Steel Toe Morning Show channel. Go on videos, sort by oldest, and then watch some of those. And it's a different person.
Yeah.
But he's worked on it. It sounds better. Like he's got a bit of gravel in there, and he could probably do some ad reads, but so could anyone employed by the radio station. I don't think they'd outsource to someone.
And especially pre-recorded stuff. Like we can all do pre-recorded stuff. You know, like I've got so many filler words in that live. But when I first started podcasting, I used to cut out all my filler words. Like I would meticulously edit. And you can do that quite easily. So, I don't know that anyone is necessarily interested in a man with his current background with criminal cases and the current situation with diversity and all that. His attitude towards women and blacks and all that. It's not going to look good for a little family-run radio station.
Radio is a failing business at the moment. They're very hard pressed for money. If they get involved in any sort of controversy that starts to scare away advertisers, they will drop that talent so quickly because it's so easy to replace them. Even if not with another person, with an AI, like an AI DJ could do that. I don't know if you've played with the Google podcast stuff, but you can literally give it like a news article and it'll have two hosts discuss that news article between themselves. So having that happen for about 6 minutes and then going into here's this song coming up, or we're going to break for some messages, like having a show that revolves around just reading the news and reacting to it and not giving a huge in-depth take or talking to any experts about it is replaceable by AI right now.
Yeah, and it would probably be a more concise conversation than what Aaron's bringing to the table.
If he focused on actually turning it into a morning zoo type of show, I think that would be actually more novel and interesting and something that would be a lot harder to replace or replicate somewhere else. But I just don't see him putting in that much effort anymore. He wants to be an aggregator of not the B and TMZ and The View, and just phone it in every day until the money comes in. I don't think, it doesn't feel like he wants to put in any effort really. I mean, he just bought a new marker after how many months? This week.
What I don't get with Steel Toe is he was in radio not too long ago, and as far as I'm aware, like obviously I don't know as much as maybe yourself with it. Has it not been a dying like media platform for quite a while in terms of maybe it's sped up with like the AI shit and what have you? But from what I know, when he was in radio, surely he would be somewhat aware that like this isn't as good as it used to be, and it's not gonna change drastically. You know,
well, he was never. I don't think he was ever fully employed.
Right, okay.
Like what I understood is he would get some ad slots and sell those for
So he
his
could
slot on the radio. Like that's what he was in charge of, and that's where a lot of his money came from. So it's not even someone brought in the same way that a DJ or like a radio host usually gets brought in. It's
paid to play kind of in terms of
like they turned him into a salesman / radio host for that slot.
So I guess it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't have the normal thought of, well, this is how it used to work, this is how it works now, and this is probably how it's going to go, because he never really even had that. You know, he just had like
he's banking on like his buddies around town that he still has, I assume, good relationships with. That when he's back on radio, those people would probably come back because they're like, all right, he's advertising locally. He's not advertising to the world who can't use our services.
But it's not those ones that'll drop out. It's all the other ones. And he won't be able to bring in as much advertising dollars as the other already existing advertisers. And those are the ones that'll get spooked and pull out. So it won't even work. Like, sure, if him in a vacuum, but there's a whole other part of the like a whole radio station with a whole lot of different advertisers who want nothing to do with it.
It's true. All right, I'll go my last clip. I was going to do something else, but I'll make this the last one. I just thought this was interesting, talking about Nick Fuentes and the Christianity angle. And Moody, I'm sure you'll pick up on something because he was talking about it only a few months ago, his Christian faith and all
that. Him being I guess the Catholic Church disavowed Nick Fuentes, which I gotta say, if I was important enough, if I was like on the Catholic Church's radar to the point where the Catholic Church was like, I know who that is, and we disavow him, that'd be like the biggest feather in my cap ever.
Wasn't he a few months ago talking about how he was freaked out that the pastor was talking about him during his what do they call
We've
them?
debased the Lord in his own house.
Yes,
what he kept
right.
saying.
Yes. So this was a man that was a few months ago deeply, deeply religious because he'd got away from his cocaine addiction and Molly and all that. Now all of a sudden he wants the church to disavow him. He wants to be popular enough that the church says we want nothing to do with you. His new goals are always fun.
I don't care if it was Catholic Church, Church of Satan, a Jewish temple, the Mormon
synagogue.
Pants or whatever they do. They're the ones with the pajamas, right? I don't care who it is. Just the notoriety would be nice. As you can tell, 195 away from tonight, I'm a whore.
So he wants what his whole his whole coming out against Nick was fueled by this newfound religiousness. He was even talking about doing like reading scriptures. He read scriptures unironically on his show a few times.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
So isn't it funny, like a few years ago, right? My understanding is Steel Toe ended up getting doxxed, right? And somebody swatted him, and he didn't like that idea, right? As in, like, it's a shitty thing for people to do. Wouldn't encourage anybody to do it. However, isn't it funny now, 2 years later, he's like, I want any attention whatsoever. Now, my understanding is Nick Fuentes just had a situation where somebody went to his house with a gun, and maybe potentially was trying to do something untoward. Now, isn't it funny how Aaron's now 2 years ago going, oh, this is terrible, people shouldn't do that, doxing is bad, to the point of Nick Fuentes has got media coverage. Everyone's talking about him across the world I want some of that heat.
He does have some of that heat, but he's not a victim in it. He's the perpetrator. Go back 4 months. Search Aaron Imholt, and Fox 9 will come up. Yes. And there is a lot of disdain in the voice of that anchor reading out what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's all pretty obvious to us all, and obviously we'll wait to see what comes out when Nick can finally release the interview with the police. But I think we're all pretty sure that Aaron set that all in motion, right?
It's nuts because we wouldn't know about any of this. Everyone, like Nick, April, and Kayla, would look so much worse if Aaron hadn't spoken about them. Yeah. And he's just like, I'm staying out of this. I'm not involved in this at all. And just waited to see what happens. Instead, we saw him give every juicy detail, which embarrassed them. And of course, like, they're embarrassing details. We don't know how much of it is true and how much of it isn't, because he is both the victim and the hero in every single story that he told. Yeah. So there's going to be some shades of truth, but also a lot of whatever, like the Aaron-centric views inside there. And so, and they're going to come for blood, and we're going to get more context around these stories that he's told. And that's going to be really bad for him.
Yes. No, it is. And like the great Mike Boudet, Sword and Scale, I've listened to a lot of Sword and Scale over the years. And one thing I've gleaned from that very clearly, Mike Boudet makes it very clear. Don't talk to the fucking police. Don't ever do it. And Aaron, on top of all of it, Aaron had a thing called spousal privilege where he doesn't have to talk about his wife. You know what I mean? So it's he literally went out of his way to throw him under the bus. That's obvious. The fact that he told the police anything, how could he be a suspect? He doesn't live there. He's not involved. You know what I mean? There's nothing they can get you on. He definitely wanted to.
He's so vindictive.
As much as he could.
He will go out of his way to spite his enemies. He wants April to go into, like, he wants her life to be depressing so that he can say that he won that breakup. And that's why he didn't say anything about her for like 7 weeks. Look, if you're in a relationship, like if you're in a committed relationship with someone and they run away to go and do drugs with someone else and they decide to leave you, how long do you wait before you call up the parents and say, hey, I'm worried about this person?
Less than a week. Yeah, less than a week for sure.
You try for maybe 3 days, and then you go, I need to call the parents. I can't do this on my own.
Yeah.
You don't wait 7 weeks. He waited 7 weeks. He saw her fall off the wall, and then he waited for the bubbles to stop coming up, and that's when he called the parent. He waited for her to drown, which is not what a partner does.
Agreed. Has anyone got any other closing thoughts on Steel Toe before we kick into some Joey C?
I can't wait, Joey C. That's all I'm focused on right now. What's he going?
I don't know anything about what's happening with Joey C.
You're a lucky duck.
Well, you will hopefully soon, Moody, when you get the lawsuit, coming.
No,
actually, I'll get back to you in a second, Robbie, because I did try and set you up there. But a shout out to the super tips, like with the AI. If you word things right, like if you figure out how to word things and get it, those can be fucking hilarious. And I'm proud to say I threw a pretty good one out on this little piggy the other day with the Aaron voice. But yeah, some of them it is just perfect them being read out. Some
you've
of them
got to learn
annoying.
You need to learn how to use it because each voice is different. And you need to know like what to capitalize, what punctuation to use. But the ones who figure it out are just, it's so good.
Is Bob still British / Australian out of interest?
He goes Australian depending on
how you phrase it.
I used Bob Fanalo the other day a couple of times to talk as myself because I was like, oh, well, he sounds Australian. So.
Yeah. If you put a mate in there,
okay. Yeah.
Rob, you haven't had much to say. Have you had any takeaways from this so far tonight? Good. Appreciate it. All right, let me go find This here it is. That wasn't hard at all. You want to set this up, Roachy? Bit of Joey
Yeah.
C.
So when you messaged me and said bring me some Joey content, the first thing I saw was this.
I didn't say that. I said if you want.
Well, straight away I was like, okay, I know you cover Steel Toe, so I was like, why not show you Joey doing his best Steel Toe impersonation?
Okay, all right. I like the sounds of this. All right, so we got some begging Joey.
Oh yes.
Let me get the gold tonight, please.
All right, can we talk about his camera, Moody? Can I talk about his camera?
It's a better quality camera than what you've got. It's just the lighting that's bad.
All right, so I've got him on lighting at the moment.
I'm a begging. I'm a grifter. I'm a midnight grifter. Man, you better watch that.
Did he just get called a midnight faggot?
Yes, by Frankie D, Joey's best mate.
His best friend.
Yeah.
Is that the best friend that refused to put his seatbelt on?
Yeah, the guy who kept saying to Joey, I'm going to start lighting a cigarette in a minute, Joey. And Joey's going, no, you can't do that. They're going to fine me $450. He's going, well, you've got to find a restroom. This is literally 5 minutes after he's picked him up from the airport. So to get you an idea, I know it's hypocritical of me as I'm smoking right now, but yeah.
No one could tell, though, so it doesn't matter.
Right, shit, did I tell you guys what you call me?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
I know. I got a big problem. I got heartburn so bad I am not going to be able to sleep.
Why don't you take some, you don't have
I feel like I'm having a heart attack, man. It's right here in my chest, man. Oh, my God.
Wait a minute.
So you noticed there was a guy that Joey decides, all right, I'm going to, sing a song about grifting. And in his mind, he's gone, what does Aaron do next? Oh, that's right. Let's get sympathy, right? So Joey's like, oh, I've got a heartburn, So,
Roachy, what was that quacking in the back seat, mate?
Oh, that was Howard the Duck in the background saying that she's just kidding and joking while she says something to her husband, because obviously their relationship is golden, where where she cracks a joke and she has to say, "Oh, I'm only kidding," as if she's like a battered woman herself.
Joey C might die. I mean,
he will eventually die, Moody.
Well, yeah, I'm meaning soon, like so
did I.
In the near future. A year ago, he feuded with Patrick to the point of him going to the hospital. He got so stressed that both of them ended up tapping out from it.
Well, so first off, he did go to the hospital because he had heart issues, and he also faked being in a coma because again,
the coma.
And stuff. The parallels between Aaron Imholt and Joey C are quite. It's weird at this current moment. They're kind of coming to a precipice, if that's the right word. They're going into the same lane, if you will. The issue is a bit
Joey's
like
driving.
The issue is a bit like Steel Toe. People are giving Joey money as well, which is only going to just feed this ego even more. Expectation.
We talk about the fact that this is what I am aware about. Someone sent him $1,000 and said, hire any car you want for a month. And this fucking idiot didn't put that $1,000 towards getting a permanent car. He went and got the most expensive car he could for a month.
I still don't believe that happened, Aussie.
Right. Well, so it also has the same. Forgive me, I'm losing my mind. It happened at the same time that Joey realized that he couldn't get his dick hard. So I think this is like a midlife crisis thing going on, where like, I can't get an erection anymore. Let me get the brand, the newest car out there and the biggest car that I can afford with that $1,000.
I don't know if any of you guys have you met Joey C in person?
Roachy, did you fly over to meet him?
No, I certainly won't.
I haven't yet. Aussie guy, have you flown over to meet him either?
No.
No? Okay.
All right.
Aussie, check the private chat.
So yeah, I met Joey and Mrs. C at Hackamania, and they were very, very nice. But they only really hung out for like one day, the first day, and then they just disappeared. Allegedly, Joey won a bunch of money at like at a casino, and then just ditched Hackamania the whole time.
Yeah, sorry, Moody. So that was the rumor. In actual fact, Joey got a, for lack of a better term, a hotel space in what do you call it? In like a cell share area of Vegas. So on the Saturday of Hackamania, he did the I'm probably butchered that and got that all wrong, by the way.
Yeah.
He did the Ray DeVito show, and then he had to leave because he had to go to a presentation.
Yeah.
So at that hotel complex, because that was part of the deal, right? Now, like people watching Joey kind of figured that out on that day. And Joey, when he comes back, after Hackamania, he had to admit on his live stream while he had like the early onset of COVID that he caught on the plane ride back, and so did Christina. He had to admit that yes, in order to save money, that he grifted out of his viewers. That's it, timeshare. Yeah. He got a timeshare. At Tahiti Village. To which
John was plugging that.
That's the John one. Yeah, that's the John one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing because he came to Vegas with no plan as to like getting any sort of accommodation or anything like that. But the fact that he managed to hustle his way into even that situation is kind of impressive.
Well, Moody, as soon as he arrived at like one of the casinos near the venue for Hackamania, he split $100 bill between him and his wife and went straight onto slot machines.
Nice.
Right. Yeah.
And they got a grand total of $2 back. And that was a live stream again for a grift.
I'd probably do that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's
straight in the slot machines.
I think he was annoyed that he wasn't being featured more and that he was sort of left as a side.
Yeah.
As a side thing.
Yeah, because he kept calling into Melton as like, I'm not coming as like just a fan. Like I'm your peer. It's like calm down, Joey.
It's pronounced pet. You're my pet. You're not my peer.
You about to have a heart attack.
I mean, it's right here. It's killing me, man.
You're fat ass this way.
Oh, it's terrible. It's giving me a headache now, too. I got to tell the doctor he got to give me some prescription stomach medicine. I got to go to this and put it.
Prescription stomach medicine. Maybe you got a problem in your stomach, Joey, that needs more than just medicine.
Well, the thing with Joey as well was 2 weeks ago he was doing these hospital streams where he's getting told, you know what, the doctor said to me, I've got to drastically change my life or I'm as good as dead. And then I swear to God, about 2 days ago, he's talking to Lou the God or Shrek, however you want to refer to him. I call him Lou, saying, yeah, don't worry, we're going to go to that food court. We're going to get pizza. We're going to get... And I'm like, Joey, at least pretend like you're not doing this on stream. Like, Jesus Christ.
But I've also heard him talking about, is like people said, oh, Joey, why? I think it was Bedabbler. Joey, why are you like leaving on the 31st? And Joey's like, I can't, like, I got to get my life together. I got to worry about my health. I was like, well, why are you waiting till the 31st? Like, start sorting out your health now, Joey. Like,
well, Aussie guy, he'll miss out on all the Christmas food if he started now.
Good
right?
point.
That's a good point.
That's true.
He is fascinating. Like, he gives you an insight into a world that you just don't see.
Yes.
Like, I'll never experience that ride.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when I was watching Tookie Soup and Cardiff for the first time. He pulled up just these homeless people outside this area, and I genuinely for like 2 minutes was like, "Is this Joey's house? Is he docked in Joey's house?" I genuinely think.
Well, that's what
he just has homeless people outside where he lives. I thought, "Oh shit, what's he doing?" But
that's what they joked about the first time they did it. It was it was outside Joey's house. That was the joke. Yeah,
that's probably why I fell for it.
Yeah, but then a guy went down there and got on camera and waved to them.
Yes, Stoneman.
Yeah, R.I.P. Stoneman.
Yes, I
do they sell it? I don't think they sell anything there.
Zola, I take those from. What's that, Zola? They're on Pepsi. I forget. We start with B. Pepsi?
You got Pepsi?
No.
She got prescribed.
Oh, the Tagamints? They're like called Tagament?
That's what right now.
Because my buddy used to take that. It was prescribed.
Famotidine?
Yeah, famotidine is in that. That's what they have. That's one of the ingredients in there.
Famotidine is what the baby.
I mean, this is like Weber talk. Let's talk about different prescription pills.
So what's interesting there, Aussie guy, is clearly Frankie D's wife has obviously got this sort of medication, whatever the hell. Yeah. Later on in this live stream, she gives him one of these pills, and Joey takes it without asking any questions whatsoever. 2 days later, Joey announces that he can't get erections anymore. So I don't know whether there's a correlation between that or whether it's just pure coincidence. I
was on a camping trip with friends and we're drinking ridiculous amounts, and my friend was on antidepressants, and I was like, well, I'm not depressed, like surely it'll give me like a wicked high, and he was like, yeah, well, let's see. So I took one, didn't stop vomiting or shitting all night. So no, it didn't give me an up.
It's probably the mix with the alcohol.
Yeah, I'd imagine it had a bit to do with the movie.
Right, but that's in all that stuff. That's part of the ingredient.
No, that's ranitidine.
No, ranitidine, whatever they call it, yeah. Like I take blood pressure medicine, I take heart pills, I take water pills, but I took a lot of stomach stuff. I have to.
It's for gastro reflux disease and stomach damage. Is it starts with an N? This is it.
I'm just like, I feel like my chest is gonna explode.
Okay, so it's.
Is he
dirty to the goal?
Is he acting up, or do you think he's actually feeling that way?
He definitely acts up a lot, Moody. So it is hard to tell. He's not as obvious as like Stuttering John, like when you're kind of proper hamming it up. But he will kind of notice a bit like you said earlier with Steel Toe, where something will go well for him. He'll get a lot of views or a lot of super chats, and he'll be like, right, okay, me being ill and me saying I was nearly dying did well. So I'm going to have to mention every so often.
Right. He needs to be progressing towards death.
Yeah. And I think we trod over a little bit. I think he was singing 30 towards the goal. I think he's saying. I'm not 100% sure.
So he's got a goal as well now.
Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah, it works so well for Steel Toe.
Oh yeah, YouTube's introducing goals.
I know, that's mad. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the one thing that Joey's got over Aaron Emholt is that Joey does actually implement the YouTube goal system. The issue is Joey's never hit one of these goals.
Yeah,
and he never will.
No.
You can make those goals really low, though. You could be like, I'm looking for just one donation of $1, and you can hit that.
I promise you.
But I've been watching 2 shows live lately that were doing the goal as a test, and I couldn't see anywhere where it said anything about it. Anyway,
it's in the chat. You can click on it, but maybe it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really.
It's different to the goal from Aaron. So the differences are you can't set an amount. You have to set like a number of a specific tier. So it needs to be that tier or above. So you don't have much control over how much money comes in. So it's not fantastic. I think Streamlabs and Stream Elements do a better job with goals. But
are you saying you can't do the mental arithmetic bouncing back and forward when going, well, if you take away $10 from this, like it's not that smart.
The movie math.
There was a clip of Patrick the other day, and it just perfectly encapsulates it. And Patrick summed it up perfectly when Aaron got $91 worth of donations. Now it was super chats and stuff, but and they were 80 from the goal. And so Patrick goes, 80 minus 91 is 20. Because that's after getting $91 worth of donations, the goal went from 80 to 20. Like, what are you doing, man?
Which is about right after the YouTube cut, if it's generous. But he should be setting it to 500 and just subtracting every dollar because it's super disrespectful.
And it also depends a lot. If people donate from an Apple device, you lose a lot more because of Apple, all that stuff. There's a lot of different factors. So, even that side of it, it would be pretty hard to do on the fly. But we got one more segment.
Has no loyalty to those 2 pieces of shit. Like, there's no loyalty among all the fake people. Everyone in the chat, they're all fucking losers that fucking live vicariously through this shit. They have no fucking lives. Shut the fuck up with your opinion. It's a friend of telling you, shut the fuck up and talk about things you know about, but don't lower yourself to the level of this bunch of fair? No, you're not allowed to say to me, let's say you were stolen materialistic stupid shit.
I'm getting flashbacks. That was painful.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about Red Bar, because obviously you've been a long time Patrick Melton fan, and Patrick talks a little bit about Red Bar. I understand why he doesn't really go into it too much, but what about from your perspective as a friend of Patrick and a fan of Patrick? What's your thoughts on the Red Bar stuff?
I listened a little bit to Red Bar when, like, maybe about in 2011, 2012, around that time. But there was a lot. It was the length of time was huge, and I felt it was quite angry. Like, it just felt there was just a lot of rage in that show, and some people really like that. But that was that was, I guess, my exposure to it. There's some really good parts from Red Bar. There was I think Mike's boarding room story. You can buy that, and that's him going into his story about where he went to high school. He went to this correctional school where they would, like, kidnap troubled teens and abuse them until they got better. There's, like, YouTube documentary.
You say
Netflix documentaries.
They got better.
Yeah, Netflix documentaries and stuff.
Keep
like
trying.
Literally, they abuse them until they get better. Like, they create all these rules and stuff, and they keep them in there until they're 18. And he went to one called Elon School in Maine, and that's a fascinating story. Listening to him talk about that.
But the fact that he was made to, like, bully these kids as well, I believe that's like,
you've got to bully other people and all of that stuff. There's I just never got into it that much. It's just never it didn't feel like, I know a lot of people talk about how, like, Red Bar destroyed Patrick and that sort of stuff, but outside of people coming into the chat every so often, it really wasn't super felt on that side. Like, there was the amount of work, like the amount of chaos that, like, 7 people making accounts can do. Like, you can see Doom by himself, the amount of, like, he can do. So, like, it always feels like there's more than there actually are. So it didn't feel like there was a huge thing or anything like that.
Yeah, it's interesting for me. Like, I discovered Patrick through the steel toe stuff, and over the last, it's coming up on 2 years at this point, I've consumed so much NLO. I've really enjoyed it, and people always bring up Mike David and Red Bar, and I've never, I've watched a couple of 10-minute clips here and there, not watched really any Red Bar. But I'm like, well, I don't know what Patrick was back then, but now he entertains me. You know what I mean?
The show changed. So, like, the show has been around since 2005. So it went from, like, this show where there wasn't even, like, a feedback system to do a live show. They had to use something called, like, Pal Talk, which is like this thing you log on and you can see, like, full blurry cameras on.
Is that the thing that O&A did?
Yeah.
I think they use something like that. Patrick built a system called Talk Trap, which allowed people to send comments to live shows. That wasn't a thing that was built or easy to do back then. Eventually, he moved to Ustream, which allowed people to have, like, a live show with a chat that was done through IRC chatting.
Wow.
And then after that, like, that era, sort of the show waned a little bit as, I guess, Patrick went overseas and did like tours and things. Like, there wasn't as many live shows, and then it started to come back through in YouTube and all of that from about 2020, 2021. He started taking it a bit more seriously, and now we're here.
I listened to some of his stuff when he was touring Australia. I thought it'd be interesting with him interacting with Australian people and trying, like, sort of experiencing not that there's much of a culture in Australia, but there's obviously a lot of differences and all that. So I thought it'd be interesting. Anyway, we got sidetracked. Gino Bisconti had on Grillo from the Howard Stern show this week, and this was classic Gino, I felt.
Sure you are. I don't know what the hell's going on there.
By the way, I forget who fucking. Oh no, this was from Reddit. Someone on Reddit posted this on Reddit.
Thanks, someone on Reddit.
Someone on Reddit. I'm sorry, I forgot to find out who you were, but whatever.
Full credit.
Yeah.
Well, Chrissy Mayer interviewed John, ages ago. And
Moody, do you know the story of why John? It's the Dabbleverse and John is a dabbler.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Chrissy Mayer called him the dabbler because he says he dabbled in stand-up.
Yeah.
And
she said, "Do you dabble in stand-up?" And then he got really pissed off about it. Yeah.
So Gino's about to just slowly wobble his way around that story with Grillo.
And she was talking about stuff, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of credit because my experience with John is he's just an idiot. Okay, he's an overhyped idiot, and I tried to be friends with him in real life, but he can't get out of his own way. And
so Gino with a stunning revelation, and he's got to give himself credit.
Come on.
This hasn't been documented for 6 years that John is impossible to be friends with, but Gino's got to give himself credit for figuring it out.
He does. Gino does. I think Gino does try to be friends with people in real life outside of shows. I know this is a thing that you're quite skeptical on about people saying, "Oh, he's great in person, he's fine," but honestly, I've met him in person, not for long. We talked for maybe 10 minutes total, but he's very easy to get on with. But I probably wouldn't want to spend more than 15 minutes at a time with him.
Yeah, look, I'm not.
Sorry.
No, I got to respond to that. I'm not skeptical about that side of things in person, and it's not my problem. I don't have anything against Gino personally. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, and if we met, I guarantee
he's an asshole. He's not a lovely guy. He's an utter asshole. He'll be the first to admit it, but then you'll have a good time with him, and then you'll be like,
what I mean.
I don't want
in
him
terms
to talk
of
to anymore.
Easy to hang out, easy to chat with. I'm sure I'd have a great time talking shit with him. Blah blah blah. It is literally just he's got such an ego about who he is, and that is nobody. He is nobody, and he is so bad at this. I know I've got a terrible camera and shit, Moody, but I'm not this bad at it,
Yeah.
He's not evil.
It's very hard. I think it's very hard for him to do a show. He's not able to follow one train of thought very easily. He can't tell stories very well. Patrick's mentioned it, but imagine Gino reporting a crime that. They wouldn't know where to start with or what actually happened. He just doesn't. It's all feelings and emotions and all over the place. And then you're like, what are we talking about here?
There is stuff in here where he doesn't even finish words,
Right.
Dayla, thank you. I saw before in the chat Dayla was late, but he's made up for it with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Dayla. You are a fucking legend. Let's continue.
He's just too stupid to learn to realize he's dumb and get better at not being stupid.
All right, so again, we do projection with Aaron. That felt like a little bit of projection with Gino. Gino's really dumb.
He's also said, I'm referencing other things, but when he was talking to Aaron, he was saying oh yeah, the Dabbleverse gets people in all sorts of trouble and that sort of thing. But it's there's only one person with criminal charges in the Dabbleverse. And that's Aaron.
The Dabbleverse keeps sending me pictures of their ex. It's no, you're getting confused.
It's not,
that's not the Dabbleverse.
It's not the Dabbleverse. It's just one particular person.
The people that get rejected by the Dabbleverse, they poke their head in, and then the Dabbleverse sees them and goes, "Nah, you suck," and starts shitting on them. Then those people the Dabbleverse is toxic.
It's not just shitting on them. An entire economy has been created on top of Aaron Imholt.
That's true.
There's shitting on someone, and then there's economically shitting on someone. It's industrial. It's industrial levels of shitting on someone.
That's true. Dayla also says, thank you for the $2. Moody is kind of a cunt. Can he explain why?
Well, it depends. Like cunt in New Zealand and Australia means a good thing. So
yeah, it's not a bad thing. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. But people are sometimes put off by my accent, which they perceive to be too proper or too smug. I'm also very sure of who I am as a person, and that sort of confidence rubs some people up the wrong way. But there are many other people who find it endearing, and they like that I'm sure of myself, and they like that.
All right,
so
your long-winded answer proved why you're a cunt.
I'm polarizing. Some people really loved that answer, by the way.
I actually did myself, to be honest.
Right. Right.
I had to be a dick about it.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I think the opposite. I always thought that John was an extremely intelligent person.
So we know what we're dealing with the Grillo now.
Yeah, fucking idiot.
Okay, all right.
But I think he has a little bit of narcissism that gets in his way.
You think a little bit, maybe a little bit.
Okay, I agree with one of those things.
Okay.
Give me I can give you 40 examples of his narcissism. I'll give you one. Okay. When I was talking to him one time, I said the only reason you got the Tonight Show, and this is the narcissism, is because Jay Leno was late.
Sorry, I want to point out the fact he's pointing out the narcissism and how he immediately had to point out it was him talking to John. You know what I mean? Like,
and he wanted to get a younger crowd, and he thought if he took you from Stern, you would get on the show. And his comeback was, "No, I got that because I was on I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here." And I said, "You only got that because you're on Howard Stern." So he doesn't get that. Okay. That's the arrogance. That's the stupidity. That's how you'll never get better. Now, I would like to and this is going to be a first. This is going to be a first. Dude, this is going to be a first. So let's make it big. You are about to tell everyone.
Jesus Christ.
Has he finished the story this time, months ago? Or?
He says so many words without fucking saying anything at all. But I actually don't know the answer. But I want to play a game with you. He's about to give Grillo the main stage, right? He's going to put him up in lights. How long do you think Grillo talks for before Gino interrupts him when he's on the main stage?
3 seconds.
One sentence.
Heckle?
Yeah, 5 seconds. I'll go high.
5 seconds? Yeah. All right.
All 13 listeners. I'm kidding. Tell me what made you think he was that he was smart. Give me one example.
All right, well, okay. Well, financially, he was very smart as far as investing his money in the stock market.
Okay, I got to stop right there. He doesn't he live in
Moody won.
It was 1 cent. Moody wins. It was over 5 seconds. It nearly got to 7 seconds, but it was 1 sentence. Moody
You know those there's like these services where you get like scammers call you, and so there's been like these services set up that's to prevent scammers and waste their time. They'll have like an AI speak to them. I think if you patch Gino into that system, that'd be like he can start talking to some Indians trying to rob old people of money.
Wait, Moody, can you do that with your AI? Can you do that with your AI? Use Gino.
I don't need to have an AI of Gino. Gino is capable of producing that all on his own.
If you're on Super Tips and you want a Gino voice, you just text him.
Right, he'll call.
Yeah, he'll call in. He'll say it for you.
His mother, didn't he lose everything in it? Like he?
I don't know. The last time I spoke to him, he was living in his apartment that he owned in Van Nuys or whatever, or Calabasas.
You haven't.
So if something changed since then, I don't know.
I think doesn't he live in? I'm gonna check with my producer. Baby, does he live in Florida now?
He asked him to tell a story, and then the guy's like, "I don't really have a story."
I don't know.
This is gonna be a big exclusive for the first time. It's like, I haven't talked to the guy.
Well, but also he started with give an example of why John was smart with money. And then he interrupted him and said, "Doesn't he now not have any money?" And Grillo's, "I don't know what he's doing now." So why would you ask me to tell a story about him being smart with money?
John? She's on her headset, whatever.
Don't you love when him and Kiki talk to each other during a show? You like either do a show together or, just...
They're Gianu. They're one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And also his like he should stop wearing headbands. He looks so much better without them. They make him look very
More
bald.
than he is. Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because he's not bald. He's just got a slightly receding hairline. He looks better without.
It just draws attention to it. It's like, look what I'm really self-conscious about. It's like, we know.
It flattens everything down, so it looks like his hair starts at the middle of his head.
Yeah. I'm going to skip forward a little bit just because we're going to have to wrap up in a minute because I've got another show after this. So.
But
right, will it be with Equal and Roachy as well?
He's disingenuous.
No.
She said to him, I'm told you dabble in comedy.
So he got there in the end. He's getting to the Chrissy Mayer thing.
And once that was said, he got so offended. He said, "Oh, well, dabble," and then he started listing his resume, which is what all fucking great comedian. At any rate,
so there's another example of him just stopping mid-word and just, I'm not going to end that thought. I don't know if it's maybe he thought about the fact that when he got criticism, he started talking about In Hot Water from 5 years ago with Aaron Berg and shit. Maybe he realized contradicting myself here.
I think Gino like captures an idea, starts talking about it, and then it floats away and he needs to fill in with words until he grabs the next one.
Yeah.
And that might be unrelated to the one that he just let go.
Good point. That's a good point.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
But we're on to something else.
and long story short, and by that I mean I just have to skip over. Then when the world started to go to YouTube, and John was on YouTube and everyone was, making fun of John as what the kids call a lol cow now.
Look how comfortable Grillo is right now.
Yeah, he's doing an Aaron hug.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're 250 away from 630.
It became just a universe of people shitting on John. Who are these podcasts doing it? Then you had fucking the Uncle Rico show, which is Shuli's gig, which is probably why John wouldn't let you on. And then it just morphed into all these other players. Now I reluctantly became
having him be the like driving seat of a show is insufferable. Like Gino, I think Gino is great as like someone who calls in or like is there for like a little segment where he just has that Gino energy and it almost doesn't matter what he says. I think that's where he fits into shows, but like trying to have him be the like have his hands on the steering wheel of a narrative is just I'm lost already.
He's a clear water Chad for sure. You have him on Do the Weather and then kick him off.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to the reason why Gino thinks Dabbleverse doesn't like him.
Part of the Dabbleverse because they like to shit on me because I would shit on criminals like Chad and crazy people like Kevin Brennan and of course John. But I never.
Yeah, that's why the Dabbleverse hates you, Gino, because we all know Chad and Kevin Brennan are so beloved that anybody shitting on them is just gonna get torched.
Notoriously have loads of defenders out there defend their good name.
I think he does get a bad rap for the snitching. I don't think he snitched. I think it's unfair to say that he snitched. But yeah, that's
okay. So. Well, okay, so what happened there then, Moody, was he was asked a question by a law enforcement person on the phone, and Gino, in classic Gino fashion, just spilt the beans like this, and obviously all the information eventually come out after about 45 minutes. But the real reason why everybody hates Gino in the Dabbleverse is because he shoehorned himself in with Kiki on shows like with Stutter and John, and let's not forget being the co-host to Aaron Emholt. And he thought he could come out squeaky clean by saying all the time that he wasn't part of the Dabbleverse and he was above everybody. Now, I used to be a subscriber to Compound Media. So 4 years ago, I would watch In Hot Water occasionally, and I would hear Gino bitch and moan about somebody called Ray DeVito. This is before I even heard of the Dabbleverse. I still don't know to this day what Gino's issue was with Ray DeVito. But I know that Gino is all about the Dabbleverse that he claims that he's high above because he was shitting on a certain, open micer, Ray DeVito.
Yeah, I mean, everyone that
sorry,
says
Roach, I got distracted. Aussie guy, when you're sitting there and like your shirt rides up a little bit like that, it gets rid of the bottom of all of the letters.
Yeah,
So it looks like it says faggies. Because the E turns into an F and the L turns into an I.
How do I get it to do that? How do I
just like cover the bottom, like flip the bottom of them up a little bit.
Hey, what about that? Like that?
No, you're stretching it. You need to like cover the bottom of all the letters.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get it to the bottom of the camera.
There you go.
Oh, right. Yeah, there we go. That's
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking hell. Everyone that says that the Dabbleverse is toxic and they want nothing to do with the Dabbleverse can't stop talking about the Dabbleverse is what's interesting to me.
Never really did podcasts about them, but I get dragged into it. So that's what it is. You don't choose the Dabbleverse, it chooses you. And it's the network of Shuley and his show and Bob Levy. And I'd love to talk to you about him and where he wound up. And this guy, Chad Zumach. Do you know Chad?
Never heard of him.
Because he considers himself a comedian and he's an absolute fucking failure. And the Dabbleverse is a top
projection alert.
Don't Gino and Chad do similar shows?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yep.
I think Chad's better.
Comedians as well, though. Like, I know it's an opener, but still, like he actually goes with proper comedians on like little tours on it.
Chad is better than Gino. I'll give Chad that. I think he does a better show than Gino.
I've never seen. I've seen some of Chad's stand up. I've never seen Gino's. Chad was fine as stand up. I don't know how long he's worked, like how long the bits he does are. Yeah. Like how old are they? Gino, I'm not. Yeah, I've never. I don't know.
All right, I've got to wrap it up. I've got to get going for another show that I've.
Your shirt's doing it again.
It's very hot here tonight, and I'm sweaty, so it's catching on my sweaty skin. Anyway, Roachy, I know you don't plug anything. Moody, you got nothing to plug either, do you? Other than super tip. Just use super tip instead of super chats if the shows have it, right?
Yeah, use super tip instead of super chats. YouTube.com/@SteelToe Show. We'll have another one soon. Sorry?
Is that already started?
We've done one test stream and it went pretty well.
Is it still up or?
Yeah, it's still up, but it's unlisted. I'll send it to you.
All right.
Yeah, that was an awesome live stream, by the way, Moody. That was phenomenal, if that's the right word. Yeah.
Thanks. We'll keep working on it. But cheers for having me. It was fun.
No, thank you for coming. Thanks for busting our balls. It's always good. I appreciate it. It's what our show's all about. We've got to keep each other in check. So appreciate it. Echo, plug all your bullshit, and then we're getting out of here.
So type in Echo Pineapple, like on the screen, then press the delete button and put a 3. There you go. Press enter, subscribe, watch Pint Double Pint, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you.
All right, I've got to go. Stay on this channel, though, because I'm coming back with a show called Malatown. But for now, on X, I'm at that sussy guy. I just imagine that Aussie guy. Put an S where the A should be. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
United States of Australia. Oh, I've got to kick it twice.